Good morning, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day, everyone, and God bless you. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news this Wednesday morning. And it looks like it never Fox personality has come out of the closet as being a Trump hater, somebody that is unwilling to push for Trump or, of course, continue to stand up for him against the mainstream media and the Democrat Party as we see them continuing to destroy our nation from within with these absolute disaster as built with like the new one-day Inflation Reduction Act or whatever, that has nothing to do with inflation. All it does is a Green New Deal spending package that they gave themselves in order to continue to pay their friends off. But this Fox News personality, quite surprised that really surprised because she has ties to Sean Hannity. So I'm not really surprised about this. But Laura Ingram has now come out and says maybe it's time for us to move on from Trump before the 2024 election, and again, I'm a very strong supporter of DeSantis. I would love to see the Sanchez to be president someday, but not yet. DeSantis is still needed in Florida. And we still have Trump has some unfinished business of do with a swamp. I think this next term with Trump going to office he can hopefully with the support of a more of America First Congress, get rid of lots of bureaucrats and deep state that we're currently seeing, and make way for a President DeSantis in 2028. That's what at least my theory and hope is, but anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this article. And just a side note real quick. Bret Baier was the latest one to come out against Trump recently. So that's 3 Fox News hosts within the course of the last few months that we know of. I'm sure there will be more to follow. But Laura Ingram, this is what she said. So let's go and take a look at this article. Fox Laura Ingram says exhausted voters may be ready to turn the page on Trump, she said. She said Americans are exhausted by the battle involving Trump. Fox News host Laura Ingram said Americans may be exhausted with the political battle, and decide that it's time to turn the page on former President Trump, as he decides to whether to run for re-election in 2024. People conflate Trump with people's overall sense of happiness in the country, Donald Trump. It's been a friend of mine for 25 years. I'm always very open about this on my show, and Graham said on Monday on the Truth with Lisa Booth podcast, but, we'll see whether that what the country wants. She also said the country I think is so exhausted, they're exhausted by the battle, the constant battle, that they may believe that maybe it's time to turn the page if we can get someone who has all Trump's policies, but who's not Trump. Trump remains the top of the 2024 candidate among Republican voters, with his popularity growing after the FBI's raid on his Mar-a-Lago, according to a recent poll. And see, this is the problem with people like Lauren Ingram, Sean Hannity's of the world, right, is that they don't have the stomach for the fight. The fight's long. No one said the fight was going to be quick, simple and painless, right? The fight is going to be a long fight. And we can have somebody that's a fighter who can fight somebody like Trump, then that's what we need right now that apparently American people does not want to satisfy for a Mike Pence establishment candidate. Whatever Fox is trying to push right now. We need someone that's going to be willing to battle. And right now, Trump is the best candidate for that. And with Fox, currently trying to turn their backs on him, again, have not had Trump on their network for over 100 days. Sean Hannity was someone who suggested to Trump that he should pardon Hunter Biden when he was still president, and then attend the inauguration of Biden, after all the funny business that took place in the 2020 election. Where these people stay on Fox News, also called people like Bret Baier called the Arizona election, minutes after the polls closed in Arizona. This Fox News Corp is aligned against Trump and aligned against America. First, they want to go back to normal. They want to go back to the days where we had establishment candidates, people like Romney and McCain. So that way we can get back to just talking about things and not actually getting any of those things done. And it was very apparent during the Congress that Trump had when we had the House and Senate, they could not even get the wall funded. But sure, we'd go ahead and get tax cuts done, but we can't do anything else. Couldn't even get rid of Obamacare, couldn't get rid of anything like that because the House was too weak, filled with establishment shields who were upset that Trump had won and they much rather hadn't worked under a Hillary Clinton presidency. And that's a fact. Alright folks, I'm going to read you a Bloomberg article titled Why Trump's Mar-a-Lago Affidavit is Still Under Wraps. Why do you think it's under wraps? Well, let's read a very important paragraph. The Justice Department will want to keep an underlying affidavit for the warrant sealed to protect the investigation on any sources or classified information, former prosecutor said. So, the question is, who is the informant? The informant is almost certainly listed within the affidavit. Why the informant is important is because you have a Durham probe trial in October, couple months, just 2 months from now. And the Durham probe trial is about the next trial and error is about an informant or a source that lied about the Steele dossier, which was purchased by Clinton. So, Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. Clinton paid Seisman, the attorney, to funnel false information about Alpha Bank servers. This is all a political stunt. Almost certainly, the informant is very likely linked to Hillary, to the Democrats. When you look at everything that Trump has been accused of the past 6 years, it all stems from his direct political rivals. Media is all too willing to forgive and forget when Democrats purchase a dossier, Steele dossier, and it's funneled into the United States government. Loyalists within agencies utilize a dossier purchased by Democrats to go after it, investigate Trump. They would never allow Trump to purchase a dossier or Giuliani to purchase a dossier about mashed potato brains or Hillary or Hunter. You don't even need a dossier for any of them, especially not Hunter. And so if the tables were turned, they would never allow that to take place. But there's an informant listed almost certainly within the affidavit. They don't want to release the affidavit because they just want to get the ball rolling. The bureaucratic monstrosity, this gigantic boulder of bureaucratic hysteria and bias towards Trump. So they did the same thing. With the Mueller probe, special counsel, you had all these bizarre individuals: Joseph Mifsud, Alexander Downer. They all had links in some manner to the Clintons, into the Democratic Party and media. Government officials, the Democrats can't possibly admit that they've leveled government bureaucracy against Trump since the moment he entered the Oval Office. They would never allow what took place against Trump to take place against them. But it's very interesting why it's sealed, and Trump is almost certainly going to demand that they release the affidavit, and then he finds out who the informant is, who the source is that told the Federal Bureau of Investigation there's, oh my God, such classified information. We will celebrate Harriet Hagerman winning in Wyoming. God bless the people of Wyoming. They're fantastic people. It's a fantastic state. And Liz Cheney will be defeated once and for all. And the Congressional Committee was a complete catastrophe. It was a failure, just like everything they leveled against Trump. Adam Kinzinger admitted that it was a failure. But the informant is the Federal Bureau of Investigation under James Comey, and under the current director, and by the way, God bless the FBI. There's a lot of wonderful people there. They protect the country from absolute lunatics and foreign threats and criminal organizations, so they protect the public. But so we need the FBI. But however, the upper echelon, the people who make decisions pertaining to politics, have sided with the Democratic Party. You have to ask yourself why they didn't go after Hunter or Hillary in the same manner. And I want to Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I think we need to redo Hillary and Trump 2024. But the informant, it'd be very interesting to see. It's almost certainly the person is almost certainly a staffer. Somebody that works for one of the people close to Trump. It's probably not somebody very close to Trump that turned it. Somebody almost certainly just like the person who leaked the Supreme Court decision on Roe. Democrats, when Trump was in office for 4 years, almost every single article about him in the New York Times, in the Washington Post. Was people familiar with the matter? Say, former and current U.S. officials say? I mean, there were stories about him giving classified intelligence to the Russians. And how do we know? Because the Washington Post is big. I still have it here on my phone. Let's see, where is that? The Washington Post broke the story. And Trump revealed highly classified information to Russian Foreign Minister and Ambassador May 15, 2017. No way he did. Do you have any evidence? Well, it's right here. In the first paragraph. President Trump revealed highly classified information to Russian Foreign Minister and Ambassador in a White House meeting last week. According to current and former U.S. officials, that is meaningless. That is a meaningless, vapid, deceptive phrase. That is not journalism, because every single day, according to current and former U.S. officials, named Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. These are current and former U.S. officials. Anyone who disliked Trump, who had a vendetta against Trump, was named as a source for journalists. None of these things turned out to be true. They impeached him because there was an ellipsis where he went after he tried to pressure the president of another country. Even the president of that country said, "Not Trump never tried to pressure me." The president of that country is being invaded now under mashed potato brains under Biden's watch. They never had anything on Trump. They haven't indicted him because he hadn't. He hasn't committed a crime. They didn't indict Hillary or Hunter yet. Because the Democrats, that's all about the trend change with Trump Republicans. You have Trump Republicans. And it's like, I love Reason magazine. Fantastic publication, but there's an article. Oh, yeah. Looks like Trump is his classified scandal is a lot more serious than Hillary's. White did it. The Trump had Secret Service for 4 years, and find creative and illegal ways to transfer top secret and special access program intelligence data onto servers secret, that even President Obama didn't know to hide her communication. My God. Are you kidding me? Though? Even Michael Hayden, state of the whole planet? He would lose respect for intel agencies have it infiltrate and take all the information? Are you kidding me? You could, if you put your bank account on a phone and lose it. Or just if you are the Secretary of State and you're in other countries, and they know you have a private server that's not protected by US government firewalls. Are you kidding me? And then a week before whom Aberdeen had classified info flying around, and she put it on her husband, the aptly named Anthony Weiner. And then he showed pics of his last name. And so there you go. Are you kidding me? It's the same thing. I don't think so. Trump, the Orange Menace had boxes, oh my God, that the Federal Bureau of Investigation already looked at, and they said, here's another padlock. Here's another lock. Go ahead and lock it up. So the informant is important. And he's a former president. He has the highest classification clearance ever. That exists. And if it's about nuclear secrets or issues, he almost certainly got the Energy Secretary to declassify it, because that's what he would need to do. Everything else he could declassify himself. President Obama allegedly had 30 million. Are you serious with 3 million pages? Is there even 30 million pages in a library? 30 million pages of unclassified data. How do you get all these pages unclassified? Anyway, giving you room, so obviously he's bringing a lot of information, just to ensure the public doesn't see that. So he brought a lot of information out of the public sphere. No FOIA requests, all of that. 30 million pages. How does that even work? Trump had 11 boxes. It's like the end of the world. Thanks for being here, folks. Big hug. Ciao. Goodbye. God bless.